Recording. Recording in progress. All right. And I will share my screen. All right. So where is...
Here you are.
Here is our agenda. This will be a quick and dirty just look at the equipment that we'll need and the things that we have to do to prepare both the planes, the trailers, and yourselves to get out and do a camp. And it's good that we're doing this early because a lot of times if we have to order tape or a tire or something like that, we'll have time to get that in since we're still about a month out. So we will start there. So I'll start with with planes. The very first thing I did was go through some of my ad hoc lists. I've got my checklists that I've created through the years, and actually on the foundation of something Fernando sent out probably 20 years ago. And I've used it ever since, been modifying it ever since, but we'll go through that as an action item on the list. So very first thing we need to do is, since right now, I understand we're taking Two Mike Golf and Whiskey. So we'll need to make sure that the taste of tape, all the tapes and the Mylar and all that stuff is in good shape to go. I can assign that to me. In fact, I'll just put my name right here. If this is open. Oh, it's not open. Let's do it this way. There
you go.
Well, maybe not. There we go. I will assign this to Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
On that list of, I'm sorry, never mind.
No, well, go ahead.
I was going to say, on the planes, are you including parachutes in the plane stuff, or?
Well, yes, and that is this last thing here, the list. We'll get to that.
Okay.
It's a jumbled thing. This is my ad hoc stuff. We'll get to my actual list in a second. This is the stuff I thought was an afterthought. And just questions I wanted to ask before I get to the list. For a second thing, Tim, do you have a logger? Do you have like
I do not have a logger that is official. No, I
Okay.
use CU, so that's not going to work. I understand. So
okay, so all right. Well,
That's good through silver, isn't it?
yeah, I'll need one for silver, certainly. Yeah,
yes.
but
I mean, CU is okay for silver, I think, isn't it?
What I don't know. If it is, we'll look that up, and that would be awesome because you might be right with that because they've made a lot of changes to the silver.
We'll look it up, but I think you can use it as a position recorder.
Right.
And which means you got to fly a little bit bigger flight to make sure that, because the tolerances are wider on position. We'll look. I'll look that up. I'll be happy to look that up.
All right.
Since I'm an official SSA inspector, I'm supposed to be the expert on all that stuff.
So
yeah, you're supposed to know that right off the top of your head, right?
Yeah. So Hartley,
Wow.
check position recorder for silver, distance and altitude.
Right.
All right. We'll need to load the Cambridge term points. I've already talked to Hartley. In fact, we were just talking about that before you all got on. This is something that we probably all should learn if we're going to use that stuff. I personally don't care because I have both an UDI and a logger. So I'll be using that as my
Waypoint file.
Yeah, well, not just waypoint file, but my movie map.
Yeah.
Okay. And also the other thing I wanted to ask for the folks that Tim, I'm going back to you since you're probably the only newbie on here. Do you have a subscription to CU and Navigator?
I have a subscription to CU. I don't know if that's the same subscription, but yes, I do have it on my phone.
If you have, oh, okay, so if you have Navigator on your phone, that will be something that you can use for your navigation. It's the IGC
Yeah.
file is not. I wonder if that would be good enough for a position recorder, Hartley.
For the phone?
Yeah,
I don't think this Gator app on your phone is legal, but it is good for flight traces and OLC. And I
Right.
guess we could put these
Well,
right.
I'll have to check and see if the CU Navigator is a recognized position recorder.
All right.
Okay.
Check
Yeah.
that for us as well.
However, I believe that the Cambridge equipment in Whiskey is fully capable of logging and
And so-
navigating.
Yeah, and so is the logger in the Twin, right?
I have not been able to check that yet, but I'm pretty sure it's okay.
All right.
Yeah, Hartley, I'd like to figure out how to use, I've never used the navigation equipment on board the aircraft. So I'll spend some time with you figuring that out.
Sure.
I'd like to have a backup personally.
Sure.
So
Yeah. But what we need to do at some point, well before Cordeal, is to get Two Mite Golf down and power it up and make sure that it's capable of logging. And it wouldn't take long to teach you what you need to know. And I'll give you an assignment in the meantime when we're all
okay.
done.
All right.
Okay.
We'll do it. Thanks. And by the way, my phone has a camera on it. I can just take a picture of the turn points, right? I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, you could have 20 years ago.
Yeah, they don't even accept that anymore.
No.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
fun to have you turn it in and have the look on their face like, what is this?
Yeah. And just here you go. Also bring them a reploggable barograph trace. That would also.
I have two of them if you want.
I've got one.
I have
You want it?
Scrolls of the German one that punches the paper if anybody needs it. Mine rusted out. I got the paper if anybody wants it, free of charge.
The old winter paragraph. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. As we digress here. All right. Again, and I'll mention this. If you don't have a RAM mount for your phone, it might be a good thing to do. You can get a RAM mount that will hold that with a suction cup. Actually, they're separate pieces, but if you have questions about it, that'd be a good thing to have in your bag if you want to use your
It
phone.
would be a very good thing. We have a ball mounted in Whiskey, the large ball.
Okay.
You could have a RAM mount and clamp on that. And
You know what? I've got a ball. I think I've got an extra ball or two at the house. Maybe attach one in Two Mite Golf too.
Yeah. If you don't have it, let me know. We'll get some and we'll put them.
Yeah,
in
they're just a
tomorrow.
couple bucks, right? They're just a few bucks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, let me
And so all you need for your personal stuff is a holder and the arm.
right. Some ball mounts for 2 MG. All right. All right. So here's my thought. For folks that are taking gliders down, and of course, Bill Drury is not here, but I will implore him to watch this. The way I wanted to work this time is that the folks that are taking a glider down, like I'll take Two Mite Golf down. The person that is going to take that down should be responsible for the equipment that would go with it. So in other words, if we go here, what it would do is, for instance, if I was taking Two Mite Golf and I needed to fly with a parachute because of the race, then I just put my name in here and that would make me responsible for it. I got to put my name in here for the cushions, right? And ballast, batteries, and so on, so forth. And then the cleaning bucket, wing tape. We'll get to all that in a second. I've got a pretty picture for you.
Hey, Joe, it's a small thing, but the parachutes, isn't it easier to just throw all three in a bin and take them down as a unit since we're there for a formal camp?
We can do that. We can do that. I can just add that. I'll blank this out.
That's what I've done. I think I've brought them a couple of times. I've just thrown them all in the same
All
container.
right,
And
so I'll just put them in the ground. I'm calling it ground handling, but I'll go ahead and just put here parachutes. But I'd still like the chargers to go with the plane.
oh yeah, that makes sense.
All right. All right. A cleaning bucket, wing tape, pin grease, tail dollies, all that stuff. I have this in my list, which we will look at here. I think the plane list. I don't know where my wing. I wonder if I nuked it. All right, now here it is, gap seal tape. Let's. All right, that is in here, and it is with the pin grease, tail dollies, all that. We'll want to make sure that we have everything we need with each airplane. There is a this is what comes out of Two Mike Golf, and these are the things that we would need to identify and make sure that we have available for any plane going. In particular, this would be for Two Mike Golf. That's the tire jack and the 4-way for the tires. All right. This bag has scissors, tape, yarn. There's the pin grease, all that. That bag goes in this bucket where those rags live. Okay. So we'll need to have this ready. That'll be on me because it's my plane to take down. But as well as that, and Steve knows this well, there's a claw. This is the big yellow claws that we use. These are used to tie down the trailers at Cordele. Most of you already know this. In fact, Tim, you know this. Once you get a plane on there on the grounds, you need to have it tied down because weather in Cordele can be really fickle. All right.
Can I add one thing about the claw? It's very secure, and the ground at Cordele is very secure.
Yes.
Do not, please do not drive the pins through the claw all the way to the hilt,
Or they will live there.
or they will be very difficult to get out. There is a trick to getting them out easily, and it's not beating on them with a sledgehammer from the side.
What?
Yeah.
There's the reason why I have a crowbar in my trailer.
No, you don't need a crowbar either.
Oh, well, it works.
Wow.
Is see this vice grip over on the purple bag?
Yep.
You grasp what you can of the head of the pin, and you rotate it through 360 degrees, clockwise and counterclockwise, and you can pull it out by hand.
It will.
And if that's trouble, I have used a half a bottle of water and poured it right down the pin where it lubricated the mud.
Okay.
Right. And that will
But what happens a lot of times is the pin gets bent, being driven in just a teeny bit. And the rotation frees it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes, sir. Do you have a question, Pat?
not me. It looks like George.
George, we have George. Oh, hi, George.
We have George. We don't
so,
see George, but we have George.
no questions here.
Okay. All right. There's that, and bless his heart, Dan. We were at Cordele, and it was stuck. And this was Dan had a Lincoln. Remember that brown Lincoln?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had chain. He had a chain that he attached to his bumper, and he attached it to the stakes, thinking he was pulling it out of the ground. It did, but did you know that a chain will bungee?
Yep.
That thing came loose, went flying up and put a really nasty gash in his trunk. He was.
Let me tell you a funnier story. Chip Bearden, okay, high-level competition pilot, one of the inventors of the Cambridge equipment, came to a standard class nationals, and it had been raining, so the ground wasn't really hard. And he had driven in the stake at the nose of the trailer quite a ways. Well, it turned dry, and the over the course of a nationals, it dried out completely. He could not. Tried to pull the stake out. They beat on it. He attached it to the car with a chain, trying to pull it out. It nearly pulled the bumper off the car.
Ooh.
He abandoned it, got Dub Cooper to get some heavy equipment that they use for maintenance. And with hydraulic power, they managed to pull the stake.
There's a backhoe out there getting a stake out.
Let me tell you, that ground will hold on to the stakes.
It turns into cement.
But the rotation trick has never failed me. Okay.
No, and yes, we've used that to quite. It's been quite useful. All right,
Yep.
in this this bag here, is the tie down kit for the ASK 21. These are the tie downs for the two wings. This orange strap is the tie down for the tail. Those are the stakes for the tail. And this little triangle piece right here is fashioned by Hartley. It's somewhat genius. And this is what ties down the wings. And then we need to take a look at all of the wing stands and either fix them or throw them out. Because several of them, I think some of them, I actually found the because I had one. I found the instructions for repairing them or putting them together when you get them. So I was thinking that maybe if anything, just go through them and maybe sacrifice one to make one good one or whatever. So but we can take a look at them, see if they're salvageable, and if not, we'll get new ones.
We've got three, two of which have been treated according to the directions from Tim Nara where we got them. And
Okay.
one has just showed up. The problem with them primarily is the plastic handle around the setting screw separates from the screw, and you think you're tightening, but you haven't tightened it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I believe at some previous club meeting that we had agreed that getting a couple of really good wing stands would be the right thing to do. And
I think
don't
that's yeah, I think that not this previous, but the one before that, I think we did decide that.
And I don't believe anybody actually got an action item for that.
Okay. Well, let me put that by my name.
Yeah.
Um, that. Investigate. New. Wingston. All right. I think normally we get a racing packet from Mitch. We need to make sure that we get that. So we'll have some of the handout for, and actually that might be good to have before the next meeting, which is about logistics. I will talk to him when he gets back.
I believe I already on the email about everything about Cordeal, where to park, what not to do, all that stuff.
Okay. All right. All right. If we've got any other newbies, I'm not seeing anybody. George, you've been to Cordial enough and know how to get in and out and where to tie down stuff and everything. Anyway, I'll work with that in case any logistics have changed because of any from what I understand, they've changed their gridding pattern or something at the race. Is that true, Hartley?
Is what now?
They've changed the way they grid on the at the race.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, I'll get with him and make sure there's nothing that affects us there.
But it's just for the actual, regional race, that'll be brief anyway.
Right,
And-
right. But it was handy for us, for any newbies that come. Right now, from the list, most of the folks that I see that are coming are old hands. Everybody that's going as of right now has been there.
Mhm.
So I'm not too worried about that, but if we get any of the newbies, I was just, Jimmy wants to come, but his schedule's so screwy, he doesn't know if he'll be able to. If he comes down, it's just gonna be a, little swing in, swing out thing, and I said that would be okay.
Joe, have you heard anything from any of the newer guys?
Not at all. So it might be time to maybe give some call, see if any of them have any interest. Andrew Harrington went last year. In fact, I think he took a plane.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, but I just, in the back of my memory from either the safety meeting or some other time talking to him, I think he has a conflict this year. But we just need to check. And
I talked to Joshua this morning. He's got a conflict. He's going to be out of town for the full week, so he won't make it. I'm trying to get him there for a day, but he won't be there for flying.
oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, we got the new guy, Tom Mabry. He might be interested, although he's also Delta, and that's scheduling stuff. Or not Delta, he's just a pilot. Who is he with? Do you remember? Anyway, doesn't matter. And any of the new guys, you and I can get together on that at some other point. You and I can talk about that offline, Steve. And
Okay.
see if we can get together, maybe just divide up a list so, one person's not calling and bugging everybody. All right, back to the list.
And
Yeah.
minor point on that list, on that spreadsheet, you've got my glider listed as Hotel Foxtrot. It's actually Kilo Foxtrot.
Whoops.
I wanted Hotel Foxtrot, but it's owned by somebody as a lifetime member.
Oh, boy.
$200 might get them to give it up. Like 1 and 2 MG.
I have the proper equipment for terminating the lifetime membership.
Yeah. Okay, so my mind is starting to stray here because all right, then the list. I think we pretty much covered everything, but we'll go to that list. Right.
So are you leaving that checklist you just had there, Joe?
I got it available. What's up?
No, I just wanted to say I've got a separate list for the Pawnee, and I've got a kind of portable box for everything that goes with the Pawnee. So if you just say that the Pawnee box has to get down there, I'll make sure everything's in that box that needs to go with it. So it's just I don't know how to get it down there because I'll probably be ferrying the airplane down, so I don't know how to get the box down
Just
there.
say the word and it will arrive. I can do that.
All right.
I see something on that equipment list for the planes. We need a tire pressure gauge and the inflator.
Oh. Okay, hang on.
And batteries and the battery chargers, yeah.
Batteries and chargers is on one of those lists I saw.
Yeah,
but-
we'll put that on.
there it is.
We'll put that on the overall. So, air compressor
Yeah,
and pressure gauge
and the adapters.
adapters.
Hmm.
Do we want to take any spare tires?
Say again?
If you take them, you won't need them.
If you don't, Bill,
Right.
at least take one so that somebody can run it back up or down.
Yeah, well,
Because I've had two at the wrong time.
we can get a tire same day or next day latest.
Do we have it? But do we have any in the hangar?
Oh.
A tire or a tube? Actually, I'm more worried about a tube.
Yeah, I'm sure we have a tube. I don't know for sure though.
Oh, you mean in the glider?
Yeah,
Usually,
Okay.
I usually bring one. I usually have one in my trailer kit.
okay, and yeah, I did for chicken noodle.
Yeah.
Okay. Another good distraction. Where were we? I have this spread out everywhere. All right. And going back to so when we do the inventory on the trailer, I think we're still at trains, but let's go to trailers.
Yeah.
We'll need to check the tires, check the trailer chains, the jack, and this is all the things that were in that picture. Trailer parts, and then we need to check, and especially, I mean, we've had weird things happen with the fuselage dolly. Remember that we lost a wheel last time?
Yeah,
So we need to just take a good look at the dolly, all the moving parts that are in there, make sure, because we've had things falling off that trailer. So we need to just do a good investigation of the trailer. I'm responsible for that, so I will see that that happens probably this weekend. And I'd also like to get them, pressure washed.
yeah.
They were an abomination last year. It's embarrassing.
And they still are. Before, when Mitch comes back, Mitch and I are gonna repair the corner braces on Two Mike Golf's trailer.
Can the trailer be moved or pressure washed in the condition
Oh, yeah,
it's in right
sure.
now?
Yeah, no
Okay,
problem.
well then, all right, then,
It-
can it be opened?
Yes,
Okay,
but closed carefully.
oh,
Just-
okay,
But yeah, it can be open. I mean,
Right.
it's been like that for at least several years, judging by the fractures. So,
okay. Well,
So,
I just don't want it, to fail now. That would be
and
bad.
we have to open it to get in and replace and repair the bracing anyway, so, yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. So, all right. So we'll be able to inspect and do our inventory, all that stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And this is and we all know this, and this will be mostly for me and for Bill, who's not here. I'll go over it with him, but we just need to make sure we get glider batteries, and that is plural because of whiskey, but I'll make sure that we have a separate list for him. Chargers, handheld. This will be for this is all my stuff from ancient times. I actually have a GPS handheld that I used to take. It's actually a good thing to have. GPS cable, laptop, power supply. All right, that's all just regular stuff. Miscellaneous. This goes back into the people section. Camelback and water for inside the plane. We all need to make sure that you have current charts and sectionals. The Cordial task area covers two. You have to have the Jacksonville sectional and the Atlanta. Copy the rules, that's for the race. Same with the waypoints, although this would probably be a good thing to have. We'll cover the waypoints in the next meeting. We'll get that off the Turn Point Exchange. We'll show you how to do that for those who have. Again, I'm not seeing a whole bunch of folks here that don't know how to do any of that.
Does anybody have a plotter? Like a large format printer?
You mean print both of them together, so you don't have
Yeah,
to.
because I actually last year, I don't remember exactly how I did it, but I pulled the files down from the FAA and I actually, put the two files together and like overlaid the turn points on it. And if I'd had a plotter, I could have just printed that.
There is an app that you could put up whatever you want on a sectional with waypoints. It's like a task thing. I'll ask George what the name of it is, but you could print that out and you could actually put it on a thumb drive, take it to Office Depot and print out as big as you wanted.
Well, yeah, that's sort of what I was getting at is instead of, everybody buying sectionals and cutting them up. I know it was a lot of fun, Joe, to do that in the hotel. We could just kind of print out task area maps or something, and run off a few of them for those of us who.
George?
In the
Think
list,
The website is Glide Plan.
That's it. On glide plan. Yep.
there used to be a file. Map marking. This is it.
I have the glide plan software if somebody wants me to do something with it.
Oh, there we go.
That'd be
a lot easier.
print a bunch off, laminate them, and sell them for $1 a piece for a beer.
Yeah.
There are a lot of options with it. You can specify minimum altitude circles, distance circles. They're just unless you just want to have the sectionals put together without any circles around landable places and so forth.
I think that's what I did last year is I literally downloaded the layers, put them in Google Maps, and then overlaid the turn points on top of it. And it worked, but it had like the little info boxes and stuff on the
Yeah, this
sectional one.
this map that I have up that's on the Worldwide Soaring Exchange, Turn Point Exchange. It used to be an overlay for a sectional. I'm not sure how valid or how old they are.
They don't do that anymore.
They don't?
However, what I do have, I've made a new string board for the Cordeal contest with all the turn points.
Oh, nice.
And so anyhow.
Well,
it's,
if will that be available for us for the camp?
that'll be, I'll bring it and put it in the office. And with the
Okay.
string board, you decide how much mileage you're gonna do, and then you can hook it around the different turn points until you can get it home.
Right.
That's
It's pretty cool. It's an old Charlie Spratt thing.
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah, we had one.
John Godfrey made it, and it's gorgeous. It has just the turn point numbers on the map, and then over on the side, there's a legend where you can correlate the number with the name. So that for planning purposes, in the morning, okay, I think I can do 180 miles. So you grab the string at 180-mile marker, and then you put it around where the SkySight says is a good way to go, and you log your turn points.
Okay, the only thing else that I will cover, and again, I think I'm preaching to the choir, and Tim Walter has walked away, but he knows all this. The personal stuff. The only thing that I might go, I'm sorry, go ahead, Hartley.
Put checkbook in bold print, bold caps.
How
There
about
you
that?
And sunscreen, lots and lots of sunscreen.
Yeah. Big hats.
There you go.
Okay. I'm gonna make a pitch right here, and I don't know how many hippies are among us, but does anybody remember Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap? From the
Yes.
I highly recommend having that because after flying and you need to go freshen up to go fly or something, you go hit this, you do this soap just, over your face and hands, you're a new man. And I highly recommend taking this with you. It'll make a new man out of you. And bathing with it is also kind of weird. It leaves all your parts very fresh and minty.
Mhm.
But it
Always a
Just what we need.
So anyway, the rest of that stuff I can, the only other thing that I might
Well,
go ahead.
one more on the same topic. If you've ever heard of a shower pill, recommend those as well.
Shower
It's
pill?
it's basically like a moist towelette that's like this big, and it
awesome.
evaporates real fast. Does the same thing. Get dispose of it.
It's
Move
like
on. It's awesome.
like a big moist towelette that you get after eating wings.
Exactly. So you can, yeah, Yep.
Oh.
So, but it
Oh,
smells
that's-
good, and if you're sweaty and have sunscreen on, it really helps. So
Gotcha.
Right. Is
Okay.
that similar to Huggies?
all over Huggies. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
The only other preachy thing I'll have is that, you know, a lot of folks go there with cotton tees. I highly
Yeah.
recommend getting some of the newer fabrics because cotton gets laden and never seems to evaporate. It just turns moldy and nasty on you somehow. I don't know. But if you can get something, you know, that's synthetic and made for wicking away and for evaporating, the Columbia stuff is great. But if you do that, you'll be much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Then the
Totally
Hey,
right.
t-shirt
it's,
contest, you're moldy.
It's like worlds of difference between cotton and the wicking stuff. Also, the fishing shirts that we like, there are some plain nylon ones that just stick to you and stick forever.
Yeah.
And so you got to get ones that are wicking and also high sunblock.
Right.
SPF 30 or 50 or something.
I'll give a little boost here for the Columbia shirts. I
Yeah.
don't know if they still have them right now, but they had them at Costco last year, and I saw them a few weeks ago at Costco. I've got a closet full of them at this point.
Oh, me too. I love them, but I have not
they're
seen them
great.
at Costco. I will go look because
I probably last saw them 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I just haven't
Oh.
looked lately. But you know, they were there. And also, just to emphasize, back when I was running marathons, the word was cotton is rotten. It just absorbs water and it stays there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
cotton.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So other obvious things, you know, just don't forget your glider hat and your diamond pin if you happen to have one. And then
That would be you, Joe. Don't forget your number. Is that how
okay.
much for it, or was that the number? There was a dollar sign in front of it when I saw it.
It's no, it's all nines. I'm the last of the first millennium.
There you go.
Were you number 999 or
I
were you
am.
1,000?
I am number 999.
Right.
All right. The rest of the stuff we kind of have already talked about. The other thing that I might go over, and everybody's here familiar. Yeah, just make sure that you may have some arrangement for peeing. But I think all of us has been through that. There's no need to go through that. I don't see anything else here. These are all my old stuff from my from Chicken Noodle and from it. So I don't see anything else that I've missed. Let's go back and check the
How about like a spot or something that you attach with you? Do you have that on there in case you have one?
oh, we can add that.
Yeah.
We're getting more and more of it now, and some contests want to know it. So my second thing to that is it took me quite a little while. I have a InReach Mini to write down the directions to give to the retrieve crew or the desk that here's how to track me. If you put this in your computer and this is the code, and then you can see where I am. So if I've not come back.
Okay. The other thing in line with that, Terry, is directions to somebody as to how to set your car GPS or your phone GPS up for coordinates
Right.
that long.
Yes. Whether it's decimal minutes, decimal point, decimal, etc.
Well, not only that, but just getting through the menu to get to entering.
Yeah.
And by the way, hopefully all club ships now have OGN in them for finding out where people are if you want to see real time where they are. And the Cordele area has, I think, 5 receivers. So if all that's working, we should have pretty good location information on people in pretty real time.
Right.
Right.
But again, outputs lat long. And so now somebody has to come find you.
Right. They won't have OGN in the car, but if you give them the lat long, they could even put it in their phone and at least get it to you.
I found that on Google Maps, you can drop a pin and you can then forward that pin to a person. And so then that person just takes that pin and puts it on their Google Maps and tells them how to get there.
True,
Uh,
but
Look up how to do it because I did it, but I no longer remember how to do it.
right.
Okay, well, that's you know, if you actually have cell service and that, so but that is good. We'll see if we can't. I'll make you cover that.
Actually, the Cordele area is pretty well covered with cell service.
It is actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I happen to know that, and that's been over 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Back to back days.
I have visited quite a few of the Cordele points and never really had trouble calling in.
All right, so let's go back to the checklists. That's not it, the agenda. So let's make sure we've covered everything. So trailers said we need to be in an inventory. I'll do that, and I'll talk to Bill about getting that done for his plane. I would like to get a new cheater bar for the twin, a longer one, a little more leverage. Dennis was going to get that for us, but it never happened. So I think I'll put that in my to do.
So we need to be a little careful about the length of that bar
Yeah, it doesn't need to hit the wing,
because if it's a much longer, it'll hit the wing.
right? But we can afford probably another 6 or 7 inches, and that's a lot of leverage.
Yeah, it would make a difference.
All right, correct ball mount.
Yeah.
For some reason, I have one of the club's ball mounts. It's on my car right now. That's what we moved Marty Potts's trailer around with yesterday. So, but my other one is missing. I wonder if somehow mine got set in the club stuff and this one ended up.
So I believe all the club stuff is 1 7/8 except Whiskey Richie, which is a 2.
Right. It's the only 2 that we got.
Yeah.
So, and Bill Drury has towed that before, so he knows,
Right.
but we'll check.
And Bill showed something with some vehicle where the LED lights weren't compatible and he had to use one of my adapters. Wasn't compatible with the vehicle that he had.
Oh,
So we need to make sure about compatibility
okay.
because LED lights care. Incandescents don't, but
Yeah.
LED lights do.
So let's do this. Check compatibility. I can't speak. Check compatibility for LED lights.
Mhm.
Does Two My Golf LED have LED now as well?
Yeah, they all have LEDs,
Okay,
everything.
okay.
What kind of incompatibility is there?
Well, it's just that I forget whether it's the turn signals that don't work or the brake lights that don't work, but there's some where the trailer, some light didn't work on his car. And yet it was a flat 4 adapter that he adapted. And when I plugged my 7-pin adapter into a 7-pin and hooked it up to the trailer, it worked fine.
Oh, so you're saying it has to do with the trying to convert from another connector to a 4-pin. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think I don't remember what his car was, but he had a separate flat 4 and then a 7-pin, and he had hitched it up to the flat 4 and it didn't work. When I put my 7-pin adapter in to the flat 4 on the trailer, it worked fine.
Oh, okay, I understand.
So just needs to be checked to make sure that it works.
Mhm.
Usually a simple problem, but and it really most of the time it isn't a problem, but it can be.
I just
Okay.
want to report that Google Maps does tell you exactly what your latitude and longitude is, and Google Maps also lets you add that as a destination to
Yeah.
get directions. So that's probably the easiest thing to standardize across platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, and but it needs directions because you might have a driver who's willing to come get you, who doesn't know beans about this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you actually rescued John for me in 2009, the last time this happened, because my Calibri that I had that was logging my flight, it translated the minutes into three characters, 3 digits.
Mhm.
John called, I called the retrieve desk, and John went to the retrieve desk, and I called John and gave him my lat long that was off my Calibri. And he gave them to Fernando, and Fernando just kind of, oh, these are 3 digits. How could this possibly be valid? Shoot, go away. And thankfully, he saw you and went to you, Hartley, and you actually did the math to convert that and gave him good directions. And he went and got me.
Google takes the raw decimals, like 41.239, comma 31-248. So you
Okay,
pull
so
right
it
off.
does the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just, like I say, there've been a few instances where somebody just didn't know how to
Right.
do.
Yeah, maybe that's something we should cover. Let me put that in my list.
Yeah.
That will
Yeah.
make sure that your crew understands.
How to do-
How to find you.
Sure your crew knows how to use Google Maps.
Yep.
For a lat long, for a
Yeah.
lat long locations.
Are you talking Google Earth or Google Maps? Because I'm on Google Maps and it's not showing
Yeah.
me any.
Now Google Maps. I just
Yeah.
opened it up on my phone, and like where I'm sitting at my house, if I press it, it shows me the lat long. And if
Yeah.
I try to enter a lat long into the search bar, it shows me that location and lets me navigate to it.
Exactly.
I only ask because it's not doing it on my computer. I'm on Google
Oh,
Maps.
oh,
This was cell phone based that I was doing.
Go for it.
Probably the cell phone makes a
All right.
difference.
well, you and I can maybe write something up for the packet there, Steve.
Yeah.
That will be
I
in
can't
there.
vouch. I can't vouch that it works the same on iPhones. We probably want to test that too for those silly iPhone people.
I'll find an iPhone person that we can run
Uh,
that.
Okay.
Patrick Jordan's an iPhone person, I think, isn't
Of
he?
I
course
take
he is.
that
Of
back
course he is.
for those brilliant iPhone folks.
I am, of course.
Mhm.
And you want to know if we tap on Google Map, if it gives you the lat long?
Yep.
All right, I'll see if I can find out.
Well, see, I'll tap right now and see what I get. I want to tap there. Calibrate. No, it gives me a code 2Q something. I'll have to search it more.
Oh no,
No,
Danny just texted me.
If I just press a spot on the map display, it turns into a red pin, and that red pin shows a lat long up at the top.
Right. But what we need is somebody has lat long information and they need to put that in as a destination.
Yeah.
right.
And like right across the street here is 33.936, comma, minus 84.547, which would be pretty easy to enter. Now I have to see if that works in my car GPS Google Maps, but you know.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out. But the overarching thing is to make sure that your crew knows how to figure out where you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, you just spend a lot of time where you are.
Or a little more, right? Or geez, maybe just give directions.
Mm-hmm.
How about
And
that?
back in the days before we had GPSs, you had to find a farmer and ask him, how does somebody get here from Cordele?
I had to
Yep.
do that at Topaz Lake in Minden.
I've done it, and the answer is, I don't know. I never go to Cordele.
All right. We're
All
pretty
right.
much done, I think. Does anybody have any questions about the checklist or any of that stuff?
You know?
I
Are
got
you-
something shortly.
Are
Okay,
you gonna publish that checklist to us?
it's in the email that I just sent.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's available, and it's actually the one in the Excel spreadsheet is not complete yet, and I will be that's a work in progress, so I'll
Okay.
have that done too.
Good.
Hartley, I got one thing, the IGC, I looked on the SSA website while we were talking, I couldn't find if the CU Navigator was valid for a silver, but I also came across the calibration was a current 5 years previous or 2 months past it. So I only bring that up for the stuff that's in the airplanes that is IGC certified, but and I assume it'll have to be current for a silver award.
Well, I'm gonna check that out, but they have the IGC has recently said that there's no need for calibration anymore.
That'd be better. Well, this was just the current one and it didn't
No,
show it.
Totally understand, but
No,
that's just within the last 6 months or so. that
yeah,
they've-
yeah, and I've heard that as well. It doesn't make any sense because the new electronic stuff is so. Maybe it made sense when you had a replogable paragraph or something like that, but it's just insane
Yeah,
to try and do this.
okay, I'll check further into that. And, we'll not.
Have to worry.
before. So not to worry, but even if it needs calibration, there's no sense in calibrating it unless somebody accomplishes something. Because it costs about $100 to get the calibration.
Really?
Yeah, well, it costs maybe 60 or 70 for their calibration, but another 60 or 70 to ship the damn thing over there.
Right. Yeah. So anyhow,
Okay.
somebody accomplishes something that needs the calibration, we'll do it.
Yep.
Yep, that'll work.
You know.
All right. The last thing is that I did and I resent it. The 2012 MGSA flyer has articles about planning for XC. It's good stuff. Points to ponder, and this is more stuff about flying. I would encourage you to read all that. That is the actual sky.
Yeah.
Wow. And
It was.
yeah. And yeah, that's my last trip to Cordele Regional. And I did that twice.
Wheat Fields?
Yeah, twice. And within 2 miles of each other near Sylvester.
Mhm.
So I recommend all of the stuff that's in here. It's about surviving Cordele, the heat. There are others if I run across them, but if you have an opportunity, just go read through that. It's useful information. Oh, Neighbor Day's coming up. We're not going, I guess. All right. And that's it. So we are right at 8 o'clock. So I held to my hour. How about that?
Hey, Joe,
Yes, sir.
2 things. One, I talked with Bill today. He's gonna come back a little bit early from the West Coast to try to get recurrent in not only gliders, but in a tow plane, so that he could just at Chilhowie prior to going to Cordele. So intimating that he's happy to help tow if we need help with that. And he's happy to take the whiskey down, would appreciate it if someone else would bring it back or vice versa, so that he didn't drive it both ways if there are going to be other people flying it. And lastly, I'm not going to be here next Tuesday. I want to be off the grid, but if you're going to be talking about logistics, put me on the list for May 19th to help box up gliders and whatever you're going to do on the 19th.
Okay.
If that's what we'll talk about next week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of it. Actually, next weekend is mostly about logistics around Cordele. What was that? Gosh. Let's see here. A beginner's guide to Cordele, logistics, operations, task area, possible tasks. That's all stuff that you probably already have. This is for newbies. I'm not sure that we're going to have a lot of newbies there, so I'm not sure what we will do if we don't have anybody but the guys that were on here now. This
Well,
one, yeah. The
If
next
any
one,
newbie.
will you be here for the 5-9?
Stand by.
So we could actually.
Oh, I'm headed out to Bozeman that day, but if, I might be able to, depending on what time the flight gets in. But, whoa, it's not 5-9.
Yeah, yes, this is the last one. This is the one this is the good big one. This is one that's probably good for everybody because I'm gonna go over the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna go study up on all the rules, silver badges, all that stuff, and make sure this will be when we can provide the results for our investigation into the position reporters for silver and that stuff, Hartley.
I may
talk-
not be here on 5-9.
we can pick another day.
Yeah. So-
5-7 is we have a
Yeah.
club meeting.
I was probably gone from like 5-3 to 5-8, maybe 9.
Okay, maybe I'll just put it off until 5-14, which would be the week before we de-rig.
But it might be more appropriate to just cover all that stuff at Cordelia.
Well, we'll go ahead and do this here, and I'll record it, and yes, we can do it again at Cordelia for the folks that miss it, because I know no, you Tim, you were possibly missing the middle one, right? The logistic.
Yeah, I've got a commitment. I can't, what was the date
And
on that?
again, this is a beginner's, you know all this, you know the task area and all that. We can go over all that again. I don't think you're gonna be, this is
Yeah,
not.
I just have something between 6 and 8, so I'll free up at 8. And I can hop on then, but
Okay, well, if we're there, we're there. And I'll record it. I'm recording this now, so people were kind of wondering, hang up, Joe, right? So, all right. Anybody have anything else?
Joe, do you want to hang on for a couple minutes to talk about new guy marketing?
Absolutely. I will go ahead and stop sharing. I'm going to stop the recording.
Hey, Terry, it's good to see you here.
I'm glad to be here. I'm hoping to come up and spend more time with you guys, and I'll bring my own pistachios.
George, are you going?
Yeah, I think I am.
Good.
I'm one of the newbie guys. I'm still trying to work that.
I'm working on to go for both the GTA and the MGSA, if nothing else.
Okay. Because we'll be short both tow pilots and actually we'll with you and Tim. We need to call Jim Wright.
Yeah.
so
And make sure that
Bill says he can tow a couple days. I'll tow a couple days. Yeah, if we had another
that's
tow
4.
pilot, that'd
Then
be
we
great.
only got 3 left. If George or you, Terry, you can still tow, can't you?
Yeah.
Maybe one day, and we'll see who else is there. And honestly, maybe the I know the Tampa Bay is bringing their tow plane, so that'll be up there too. That may be another option for us. So we'll see.
Okay.
All right, I'll stay on, and I will stop the recording now.
All right.